Hello and welcome back to This or That with Toby and Dash, sponsored by Verizon. I'm not yelling because Travis is sleeping right now, so we'll be nice this time around.
Yeah, 6 a.m. hype video for World Finals. Let's go.
All right, let's get into the finals episode. Rah, rah. More surprising, Suning 3-1 over Top Esports, or G2 eliminated on a sub 20-minute game. Considering that sub 20-minute game was a world record shortest game at Worlds in the history of Worlds.
It's got to be that.
I'll go with that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'll admit, I had predicted Top Esports over Suning,
Yeah,
so I would be lying if I said that wasn't surprising. But I'm with you. Anytime you get to a top 4 matchup in the world and a team is eliminated on a record-setting game time, it's got to be that.
Considering what G2 did to them last year as well, it adds a little bit more to it. Next slide.
Absolutely.
We'll miss it more. Bjersen's Zilean. Actually, it got smashed at Worlds, so maybe that recency bias of seeing it smashed at Worlds might drop that one off. Or the Syndra, I think that one still holds up. Zed's got to be the fan favorite, though, the other thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Zed in terms of which champion is going to be the most fun to watch, but when I consider Bjersen's play on it, again, he made his name on Syndra. That's how I will always fondly remember him, putting his stamp on League of Legends. So I'm going to go with... I guess it's that, because it's not the other thing.
Yeah, because this one is what will you miss more? And honestly, it's hard to miss something if you haven't had it recently. Like Zed, look at the picture they have with Zed. That's like when he came over. That's like 6-7 years ago.
Exactly. So I'm going Syndra 100%.
All right, I'm going Zed, though. I don't care how far away it was.
Fair enough.
Next slide. Better pick this. Worlds. Okay, so the Jhin, the opening of the ult inside the base, just because of that iconic moment.
Huang Feng. Let's go.
I feel like Jhin is just skyrocket. Plus, to me, I've always liked the AD carries that are about abilities and not so much about really fast auto attack speed.
Yeah.
Makes me feel more at home, as a non-AD carry player. I love Jhin.
That's a good point. I would much rather play Jhin in a professional match, I think. Ashe is still one of my favorite AD carries. See, I struggle with this because I feel like Ashe has definitely been played more and has been more prevalent throughout the entire tournament. And then, as you mentioned, Jhin more recently feels like it's come into priority, but most specifically because of the way that Huang Feng has played it and forced other teams to recognize it. So because we are in a final situation with Suning making it all the way and surprising people there, I think I'm going to go with you and say, in this case, it's Jhin.
Yeah, I mean, when the teams are first picking Jhin, there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Next one. More likely to pop off, SofM or
SofM.
Canyon.
SofM.
Ooh,
SofM.
quick to answer there, my friend.
Yeah. In terms of a pop-off, right? When I think pop-off, I think just like on nutty levels of play, solo carrying, start to finish. I think SofM is more likely to put up a performance like that. I definitely still consider Canyon to be, in a lot of cases, the more consistent jungler. And this isn't who's going to perform necessarily better, but I think more likely to pop off, you got to go SofM.
I'm gonna add a little sprinkle into this though, and I'm gonna go Canyon.
Okay.
Because SofM, I'd say like 90% of the time, he's going to build a lot more tank items. He still pops off. And he does build a lot of tank items, and he's an instrumental part in a lot of these team fights. And because he builds that way, he can be the point person. But Canyon builds a lot of damage, and Canyon has been absolutely smurfing this since summer for Damwon. So I'm gonna go with Canyon. They are both amazing junglers to watch. So I think no wrong answers with this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Next one we got is Scarier late game top laner, Jax or Fiora. For me, it's always Jax. Whenever it comes down to these, I always say Jax.
Well, especially after that Fiora performance from this last weekend.
You gotta hit him with the 0-7. Come on, man.
It was so brutal. Oh my god. I guess I'm with you. It's gotta be I'm with you. It's Jax. I'm always more scared of a Jax. He just helicopters onto your face and you're dead, right?
The Captain Flowers special.
Exactly. And Captain Flowers would agree. So with 3-0, Jax over Fiora.
This sponsored segment. I don't know if we can actually say the reference that
not the rest. Just helicopter onto your face.
So we'll just move on. Yeah. But I really like that Fiora call out.
All right.
Honestly,
we got to have one more, right? Okay.
She does get into B situations, later into the game.
Yeah.
But, man, the Jack's chasing you down and Trinity forcing everything. All right.
Oh, boy.
World's Top 20. 2020 champion will be Damwon or Suning.
Who is going to take it, Kobe?
All right. For me, I'm going to give my explanation. If I was a betting man, I would for sure go with Damwon. I think Damwon are going to be favored by the majority of people. They should be favored by the majority of people. And yet, I am not a betting man. And Suning have overcome every single higher rated team, every single higher rated seed from their own region, number 1 and number 2 LPL, out the window. So even though I think Damwon do have a higher chance of winning, I think they should be favored. I don't care. I'm going to go with Suning.
Kobe, that sounds like the words of a man who likes to bet when he takes...
Because I think there's a higher chance that I lose.
Yeah, no, I know.
Choosing this.
All right, well, then by your definition, I'm 100% a betting man. I'm going to go with Damwon. I've been saying since the beginning of the tournament, I think this is the year that the LCK strikes back. We have not had an LCK versus LPL final since 2014, Kobe. It has been a long time since we've seen these two regions go at it. I think this is where LCK takes the title back. I'm going with Damwon Gaming, but I think we're also not going to get our first 3-0 in the last, right? We've had three 3-0s in a row.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, we've had 3 3-0s in a row. I'm ready for us to break that mold. 3-1, 3-2, but I do think it's going to Damwon.
Yeah, I mean, to go into it a little bit further, okay, so Damwon, they are also more flexible. A lot of people have talked about the champion picks for them. Nuguri on the top side. The Lulu pick has been really big for them. And we saw Suning try and be a little bit more diverse. They picked the Ornn, which they hadn't picked in 38 games, and it looked a little rocky. I feel like they did it to say that they could do it, and they try and branch out a little, but you got to expect that Suning are going to do more of a similar style. And I feel like, especially in a best of 5, and if you're referring to, better than 3-0, like you're talking about, as the series elongates, I feel like the extra flexibility on top of the caliber of these players and how they've kept it up the entire way of summer, for Damwon, I think they are more likely to win.
I do have
stories on Suning.
Yeah, I have one more question for you on this matchup, which is which lane, which individual matchup are you looking at the most?
I mean, we had a slide specifically on the jungles for a reason. I think that was a deserved slide. SofM has been so big. I actually took doing a segment on one of the team fights just about how, because he does build this way, and because he is basically the playmaker for this team to set up a lot of the ways that they go after these team fights and choose their targets. I think that they couldn't do this with any other jungler. Meanwhile, Canyon is the epitome of this style that has taken over the meta, I feel like, and he plays it so incredibly well. It's gonna be a spicy one.
Yeah, I think it's hard to not go with the junglers. The other lane I would call out, though, that I think gets more interesting as the tournament goes on, is that top lane. Of course, you still have Nuguri, one of the top laners that was talked about from the beginning, and then Bin, who just has stepped up to another level at every level of the world stage.
You love to see it.
Those are going to be sweet.
The rookies stepping up here, showing up big, hard carries. All right, there may be one more slide. We feel like we end with a joke.
Okay,
there we go. All right, more likely final score line. Okay, so you already did your answer.
Yeah, I got to go with 3-2.
Honestly, more likely, I'm going to go with historical evidence, as you referred to in your argument.
Don't do it
we
to me.
generally get 3 zeros. And I think that it is, more likely. I don't want it to be that way, obviously. You want the back and forth. You want the evolution. But at this point, I think one of the things that does actually lend to a lot of finals being 3-0 like that, too, is because the longer the series goes on, the longer the tournament goes on, the fewer and fewer practice partners that you have.
Yeah.
And so it really whittles down for these teams. They don't generally, have big changes towards the end of the tournament because, the highest caliber practice partners are no longer there for you to determine those changes. And a lot of them I talked about, the later stages of practice are a lot about, focusing on yourself and your own mental.
All right. If it's a 3-0, hashtag blame Kobe.
Cursed.
Flame him. Flame his ass.
All right, let's get to those finals. Come up this weekend. Ooh. Tune in for sure because it is definitely not going to be a 3-0. Right?
There it is.
See you there.